So what I'm working on here is the Williams Brass Hudson tender, and I wanted to put sound in for our locomotive, so I got the Rail Sounds Hudson Warhorse sound card, and as you can see, that's this piece here, right here. And then I also put a Dally digital reverse, and all this wiring is just temporary until I make sure everything's working right. Here's the harness up this end, and I just want to make sure before I solder everything together. But these will disappear when I'm done. But yeah, it's working out pretty good. I had to drill a new hole pattern for the speaker. They use a much bigger speaker in the rail sound system. I don't know what Williams had originally planned, but this was all covered up with a mechanical slash digital reverse. So that's now gone, replaced by the Dally, and then the Lionel sound system here. So we'll get this all tested once I get it all back together. I still got to put the other truck on and get it on the rails and see. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. What it's about is I needed room for all that stuff in there. And so the coal bunker had to go. And so I took the coal bunker out of our tender. You can see that's gone. Just a few quick raps with a hammer on the end of a putty knife. Broke loose these solder joints. They weren't very heavy on their soldering, so they came apart quite easily. I didn't want to heat these up and break them loose because that would have messed up the paint and the lettering. So I just took the putty knife, slid it down in there at the joint, each joint. You can plainly see where the solder was. And just a quick tap of the hammer and it broke loose all around. No damage to the tender or the pieces. I still have the bunker here if I ever want to put it back in. There's those pieces. They went together thusly. And but as you can see, if that's in there, there's no room for the sound system. So that's gone. All right, so what I did do, in order to give us a coal load in our bunker, I took this foam here. This one's about 1 inch thick. And what I did is I turned the tender upside down here, and then traced it out on the inside, just for a slip fit down in there, okay? But I don't want it to be this thick, so I sliced it down to 3/8 of an inch. This is the scrap piece here that I wound up with once I sliced this big piece. But it worked out perfect. And then before painting it, what I did is I took this music wire slash piano wire. It's you can see that it's what is that, 0.039, and it's steel straightened music wire, they call it, piano wire, either way. But anyhow, it's very rigid and works out good for handrails that I've used on some post-war locomotives. So what I did is I took some epoxy, ran it along the very edge of our foam here, and then I placed this into the epoxy with just a tiny bit. See if it'll cooperate here. Overhanging the edges there. All right, on either side. This is just a scrap piece I have. But anyway, I epoxied that on either side, front to back. And I'll show a picture here. Once it was painted and cut down to size, this, I then set it in the tender. I set the block in the tender, and I built a paper dam all around it. You know, just to keep the coal and the glue off of the body of the tender. Then I'll show a picture of that too. Then I soaked this down with diluted white glue, and then I poured in my coal from Woodland Scenics. I think it's B93 was the package number on that. B as in boy. So I let that set up, and I got the coal on there the way I wanted it to look, and let it all set up, pulled the paper out before it was completely set so it doesn't stick to everything. And then that kept the coal off the locomotive, kept the sides of this foam free and clear of any coal building up. I want this just to be able to drop in and be removed quite easily. All right. So then what I wound up with, after a little bit of playing around, is that. Can you ask for more than that? Looks nice to me. Beautiful coal load there. I think that was going to work out great. Now I can lift this off pretty easily. If I have to make an adjustment in the volume of our board here, but I mean, it's stiff, it's good. The white glue mixture holds. And then these little extra bits of music wire just allow that to hang over top of that and all the electronics. And then I'll grind these down, if you can see what I'm pointing at. I'll grind these down closer to the bulkhead here once I'm sure I'm happy with the fit and finish of everything. But yeah, I think that turned out nice. So that's an idea if you ever run into something like that. Just make yourself a coal load. All right. Very good. Next time we'll try to get this finished up and see if our sound system is acceptable for our Hudson here. All right, see you in the next one.